Yo, what's up, guys? We're back here today with my games from round 2 of the official Smogon Tournament. I am facing agenS. I don't know if his name is like a play on words of agency or I don't know, but you guys already know what this is, so I'm not gonna get into it. But so round 2, I actually asked my friend, like, yo, pick 2 teams you think would be solid versus like really bulky style of things, like. Because I scouted my opponent, he likes to use really bulky style teams, as you can see, like Corv, Slowbro, Hippo, Toxapex type of stuff. So I was like, I need to bring something that can break really well. And my friend was like, just use Tapu Lele, that looks good. And I was like, I bet. And I used the team game 1. So getting into it, so gonna preview real quick. So Lele is a problem to my opponent. Though it won't be able to kill anything unless I remove T-Tar, because I can't just click Psychic, and he has a Corviknight, so he'll just be able to pivot. If I click Moonblast, I could go to Slowking or Corviknight, or if I click Psychic, it can pivot into Slowbro, T-Tar. So I need to remove T-Tar mostly, so I can click Psychic and remove Corviknight. Those are the main things stopping Tapu Lele from just getting kills. And Lele is very solid in this game. Very dangerous. Heatran is there to deal with the Slowking, Corviknight, and somewhat Spectier. Though if he gets a couple combines up, it can't actually deal with it, so I have to be careful. And rocks are nice, but they're not going to be like too necessary. Though his defogger is Corviknight, so that's in favor of Heatran because it can't defog on Heatran. And there's T. I'm actually Source Dance. Soft Sand, so that does a lot of work to my opponent's team. Only condition I need met is getting Slowbro down to around 50%, so that even if he switches out with regen, he comes back in at 80%, and then +2 Earthquake can still knock him out. And then the only other thing he has for is Corviknight, which takes a ton from +2 standard to around 50%. And this team is like built in a way where it can overwhelm Tapu Lele's checks. Like Corviknight, for example, gets smacked up by +2 Landorus, and like with rocks up, it's not a reliable answer. So if I get that out the way, that opens up Tapu Lele a lot. And Landorus is just a huge problem in general. Sets up versus a lot of his team, mainly T-Tar, things like that. If he's not Ice Beam, Amoonguss is very good. Spore, like he has no grass type, so if I get a free switch into things like Slowbro, Corviknight, he has to give me a fodder, so he has to be very mindful of that. Reval is also a huge problem to my opponent. Outside Corviknight, literally nothing was to take a hit. T-Tar dies to low kick, and everything else dies to either knock off, ice go crash. So I know Reval was like my main way of winning the game as well. Alongside Landorus with Tapu Lele, the offensive pressure from those two, and Zapdos is like useless, loses to T-Tar, Chomp, loses to Slowking, so really he's just there to defog. Even then, his Stealth Rocker is T-Tar, so it's just not good. So it's like my least useful member by far. As far as my opponent's team, gotta watch out for Spectier. That's pretty much it. So game plan wise, like I said, I want either Corviknight or T-Tar out the way, or just both, and then Lele just click buttons. Landorus is also a huge problem if I get any kind of damage on Slowbro, and he doesn't heal. So let's get into it. I lead Reval again, just the best lead. Like, look at his team. Only thing that leads over is Corviknight, not Corviknight. Reval is Corviknight, and I doubt he'd lead that versus a Heatran and a Zapdos or even a Amoonguss, because then he'd have to give me a Spore Fighter right off the bat. So I doubt he'd lead that, but this allows us for me to get off and knock off the Slowbro. Knocking off the helmet is not too important, because like none of my mons like do physical contact outside Reval. So I mean, it's good, but it's not that great, as he actually teleports there. Now let me explain this play. He teleports, which makes a lot of sense, because had he allowed my Amoonguss to come in as he slacked off, he'd have to give me something. You have to put something in sleep, so teleporting was the correct play there. He gets health back anyway, only losing about 20% after the regen, as he's able to position his Spectre versus my Amoonguss, which is a very solid play, as I do go hard to my Amoonguss, is the best play. I don't want to go Zapdos, it just loses me momentum. Now here, Spectre is a problem, so I have to, dance around it a little bit. First, I got Giga Drain with my Moongus, then I pivot to my Zapdos, knowing the Calm Mind is coming. I know Giga Drain won't break the sub, but the combination of Giga Drain plus Volt Switch, as you're going to see, is going to be able to break the sub and allow me to position my Weavile versus Spectre, which I want. So that's great, as I'm able to fire off a free knockoff. I'm not going to play around with the Spectre. Get a crit there. That's 40%, showing me that he is a Fizz-Dev core, because otherwise I would have done around 50% if he was a Spit-Dev variant, but he's Fizz-Dev. Forces the Roost, which is good. Allows me to get in my Moongus and put something to sleep guaranteed. He doesn't really want anything else going to sleep. Every other member is pretty important. Heatran is important for Tran. Zapdos, Chomp can do some work versus my team, things like that. Slowking is important for Tapu Lele as well, so he doesn't want anything else going to sleep. So it's understandable that he stays in here. Though he takes Brave Bird Recoil plus Rocky Helmet from a Moongus, so that's amazing for me, as that puts him in range of +2 Landers guaranteed, because his leftovers are also knocked off. So Lele is looking good. Just need T-Tar out the way. So here, he makes a solid double into T-Tar, knowing that I'd either Giga Drain, which I wouldn't. It just doesn't make sense, because they'd only do like 20% to T-Tar in the sand, and Slowking, I don't want that thing coming in. Or I'd go to Heatran and just get a free Stealth Rock versus the Sleeping Corviknight. But yeah, double to T-Tar made a lot of sense. But knowing that T-Tar or Slowking was coming out, I doubled to my Landorus, just keeping up the offensive pressure. And here, just go straight for Earthquake. Actually knock him out. He probably expected me to be like a weaker variant, like Scarf or something, but which would have he would have ate the Earthquake up. But I am Earth Plate, so T-Tar just gets knocked out there. I'm not gonna get greedy, go for Swords Dance. There's just no need to. Even if Slowball comes in, it's getting 2 killed. This is at 80%. Plus sand and all of that, it's just getting 2 killed. And if he goes back to Corviknight, that's just a Swords Dance. So actually knock him out there, expecting him to expect me to want to go for something, some greedy play like U-turn, which I don't need to, as there goes his Psychic Resist. So once Lele comes in, body's gonna drop, especially since there's a Fizz-Dev core. So goes to Chomp, basically trying to use his last turns of sand, because it's most likely a Sandveld Chomp, trying to dodge the Earthquakes, as Landorus is not playing those games, kills that sub. As he pivots to Corviknight, does not matter. This is a free Swords Dance, because he hasn't really burnt any sleep turns. So pivot to Slowbro. I guess expecting me not to be Swords Dance, but yeah. Those are that. Like I said, the damage from earlier with Weavile was crucial, because it allows me to knock him out. And yeah, so that was his main psychic side shock switching gone as well. So again, Lele is just opening up. As he goes to Chomp, Scout Shots. This actually makes a lot of sense. He wants to go to this first, because Spectre, even if he burns me into Hex, that won't kill me. So he has to get prior damage with Chomp first. So now he goes to Spectre, burns me. At this point, I just want the damage on this so that it can't set up or anything. Don't want to give him any chances with this thing, because it can still be a problem. So this pretty much means that things like Heatran, Amoonguss, Zapdos even could kill it. So I actually switched my Landorus out. No reason not to keep it. I want to keep all my Mons. It's just good versus Slowking. Can still do a ton of damage to that if I needed to. As I what did I do here? I went from Landorus to Weavile. I know he's just gonna Hex. Then I click Knock Off. Just the best play. Any damage on Corviknight is good. Just puts it in range of 2 Side Shocks, 2 Psychics, things like that. Go to Zapdos. At this point, no reason not to. Allows me to Volt Switch. You either stay in and die to Volt Switch, or you go to Slowking, and that allows either Weavile or Tapu Lele to come in. As I opt to go for Lele instead, because Weavile would just allow him to go back to Corviknight, and I don't want to prolong the game. So I go straight for Side Shock. I get a crit. It was a roll to knock him out. Spec Side Shock does around 77 to 80 to Slowking, but he was cool about it. Didn't really matter at that point. The game was over. The Zapdos plus everything else. So Spec Side Shock is also going to 2-KO the Fizz Def Core because, you know, he's so whittled and his leftovers are gone. So that was game 1. Really proud of how I played that one. Didn't give him any openings with Chomp, Spectre, and things like that. And yeah, so we're going to be back with game 2. Alright guys, we're back here with game 2. This one decided to bring a team based around Slowking plus Trace Band Buzzwole. It's pretty standard, broke the offense. Rotom's not exactly standard, but it's good. My opponent built a pretty cool team. Just some electric spam, which you don't see too much. And yeah, so getting into it, Slowking is a huge problem for my opponent. Super difficult to kill outside Chomp. Not even Cinderace can kill it. Powerball is a 2-KO. Yeah, it does well versus Coco, Mana Zone, Slowbro. Really just fires off Sludge Bombs and it's super annoying for my opponent. So definitely got to keep that in mind. Definitely my biggest threat. Like defensively, it's just a huge threat. Buzzwole is good, but at the same time, not really, because his team has so much offensive pressure to the point where it can't really come in for free on anything outside maybe Mandibuzz. But other than that, it's like he can pivot around it really well between Slowbro on Close Combat, Chomp on Thunder Punch, Magnezone, Coco on Thunder Punch, or Ice Punch. So yeah, it was going to be really difficult for it to do anything. So mostly just going to throw it into Mandibuzz if I can, to avoid anything getting knocked off. Heatran is solid, does well versus Coco, Magnezone, as they can't do much damage to it. You know, Toxic, Slowbro, but the thing is, Starfrock are not even that good because like everything on his team has boots. Cinderace, Slowbro, and Mandibuzz all have boots, and everything else resists rocks. So I was like, it's not even that good. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw out Toxics with it. Other than that, like, it's okay. Heatran's, you know, solid. Rotom is really difficult for him to switch into. Nothing likes taking Wisp. And nothing can really damage it outside the 2 electric types, so you know, definitely something to keep in mind. Is over versus Chomp, Slowbro, just solid, very good. Landorus Teak, a late game sweep my opponent. If I remove Mandibuzz and chip his Slowbro down a bit, which I could do with, you know, Toxic and things like that. Obstagoon also somewhat baits it in, because he could take a knock and then teleport out, but then that opens up to Landorus in the late game, so that's what I was going for. And Obstagoon is a huge problem. Like, he has no good normal resist. His normal resist is Magnezone. His dies to Facade plus knock or close combat. So Mandibuzz getting 2-KO'd, and yeah, nothing enjoys coming in on it. So literally every time it comes in and gets a kill or huge damage off on something, and that's pretty much it. Like, not really too complex of a game plan. Just bring in Obstagoon as much as possible versus things like Slowbro, Mandibuzz, click Facade. Collect my kills, and then Slowking is going to be there. Rotom's going to be there defensively to guard against a large portion of his team. And Landorus is also pretty important for the late game and guarding against the 2 electric types. Yeah, let's get into it. So I lead Landorus, just the best overall lead as well versus everything beside Slowbro. Holy, that electric terrain looks crazy. I never seen it on this. Anyway, we'll go straight for U-turn, knowing that he's not going to stay in because Coco's pretty good versus me. And yeah, I just know he wouldn't stay in. Just go for U-turn there, knowing that Mandibuzz and Slowbro are the safest switches. Go straight to Obstagoon, allows me to position that and get my, you know, orb activated immediately. As honestly, there's no reason not to just click Facade versus Mandibuzz. I don't care if he U-turns. I just want that damage for Landorus and Slowking. Pivots to Slowbro, which takes a ton from the Facade, so he can't even stay in. Then he goes to Chomp. I'm gonna get a crit there, which, I mean, kind of sucks, but it was a roll actually to knock him out. It was like 85 to 100%, and that was obviously offensive Chomp. Defensive wouldn't have died from that, but yeah, I mean, that's Pokemon for you. As knock out the Chomp there, which is pretty big because that was his Stealth Rocker, but nothing that can be done about that. Go straight to Slowking on the Coco, just the best play. Get up anything he wants to do. There's a solid play here, pivoting to Magnezone, knowing that most likely won't Flamethrower, as that would allow Mandibuzz to roost. And then he makes another solid play here, goes to Tri Attack. Not sure why he went for the Tri Attack over Flash Cannon. Yeah, I don't know. That was pretty questionable. He should have went for Flash Cannon if he was predicting Landorus. Would have done way more. But anyway, I knew that anything Magnezone went for wouldn't Okome even expects. So, and I don't mind damage on Landorus. I just need a live for Cinderace. Damage on it is kind of relevant as you turn out. If he stays in, I just pivot to Heatran or go back to Soaking. If he switches out, I get initiative. So, bringing Obstagoon again and confirm another kill. Mana Buzz is going to drop there. You can't stay in with Slowbro because then Landorus becomes a huge problem. As yeah, I'm looking great at the moment. I'm up 6-4, so not a huge advantage. Brazen Coco goes to Volt Switch. Good play knowing that I won't go Landorus. No reason to risk there. As go Heatran Protect just in case he wants to high jump kick first. And to get a bit of HP in case I need to live a hit from Magnezone later on. Then knowing the high jump kick is coming, I pivot to Slowking. And yeah, maybe to eat that up. And here, I don't want him going Magnezone again because I need damage on this. I don't want to keep going to this for free, and I want to keep it the momentum even though I'm ahead. But you know, just the best thing to do. And I want to put this in range of things like Hydro Pump from Rotom, Facade from Obstagoon, so I don't even have to predict. And I have to go for CC and allow him to pivot to Coco later on. I just want to avoid the situation. So I'm like, bro, let me show you what I can do. I'll go straight for Flamethrower on the switch to Magnezone, knowing that he's not staying in with Cinderace because first off, Power Ball doesn't kill, and I could just pivot on the next one and get regen back, go to Rotom, and it'd just be a poor situation for him. So go for Flamethrower there, knowing the Magnezone is coming. Then pull the switch up to my Heatran. He makes a great play there, going for Rising Voltage, knowing that again I'm not risking Landorus. That's my win con, and Heatran just gets blown away. Like this under terrain, I'm like near max Pedef Heatran, I still get popped, and yeah, that wasn't too bad. Like Heatran, like it was good, but not really. I'd rather just sack that to bring an Obstagoon and get another kill. Facade is gonna kill Magnezone from there very easily. As Brazen Coco again. This situation is gonna come up a lot. Probably should have went Cinderace there just to get the U-turn and not be forced to predict, but I mean either way, I know I don't go down to Power Ball from here, so I just take the kill because I don't want Cinderace alive. That's one of the few things that can threaten my Obstagoon. As here, I decided to throw a Buzzwole. It's not too good. Like only way I'd be able to get it in is versus Slowbro and try for T-Punch, which won't even knock it out, even under terrain. As here, just me just clicking Slug Bomb. Not much going on here. We trade Future Sights. He slacks off a couple times. Go to Rotom here. As I want the Slowbro burnt, makes it easier to wear it down with Landorus and Soaking. As I get the Coco, which is nice. So you know, this is gonna get riddled every turn. As again, it's just the same cycle over and over. The game is pretty much done. I'm just trying to find a way to navigate into my Obstagoon to confirm a kill. As I Volt Switch here, if he stays in, it's gonna do around 50%. If he switches out, it allows me to go back to Landorus, so it's pretty much just checkmate. Again, a U-turn. If he stays in, I go to Slowking. If he switches out, I bring an Obstagoon. As yeah, just click Facade is the best play. I don't want him going to Coco and just, you know, making the game longer than it needs to be. And if he stays in with Slowbro, it's going to do 50%, putting him in range of Earthquake from Landorus. He could have switched if he wanted to, but inside Coco, though Slowking plus, you know, Rotom burning Slowbro plus Sludge Bomb, like I had too much to beat Slowbro with, even if he sacked Coco and got the slack off versus Landorus. Because after regen he'd come back in at around 38%, but yeah, he just decides to stay in there, and I knock him out, and Landorus is able to clean the game up like I said it would. And yeah, those are my games for round 2. Hopefully I could be back with round 3, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and peace.